host, Luke Anderson.
Well, hey kids, welcome into a bonus hour. We are doing bonus hours in place of Duck Insider all the way up until the month of August. On August 1st, Joey Mack and crew will return from their school's summer vacation and be back on the airwaves of 105.1 1080 The Fan. They'll be back on Odyssey.com, the Odyssey app, 105.1 The Fan. They'll be back on YouTube, but until then, you get extra happy hour, and I don't want to do all the work around here, so we'll be bringing in friends from time to time, and today we have Jeremiah Coughlin, local comedian, Pickles endorser, and what is your official Pickles title? Do you have an official Pickles title?
Yeah, I'm the on-field host.
On-field host.
I'm the face of the franchise.
Yeah, well, I mean, amen to that. They've chosen. I thought Dylan the Pickle might have been the face of the franchise.
Well, he is, but Dylan doesn't talk, so I guess I'm
you're
the
voice
of the franchise.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, the on-field host.
Well, it's been a little while since we've had you in here. What have you been up
Chaos.
to? You've been doing much touring or just local stand-up? Or what have you been up to?
Well, yeah, with Pickles' schedule is pretty solid, summer months, which is great because all Oregonians know when it looks like this outside, you don't want to go inside, and that's where comedy happens. So it's a pretty perfect situation for me is where I get to tour up until May, and then, from, Memorial Day through halfway through August, we're doing Pickles.
It's perfect because nothing's weirder than going into a 8 p.m. open mic or feature set and it's still light out. You don't want to go inside, so I'm with you.
Yeah, I mean, we have a good thing going here. I don't know if people know about Comedy in the Park. Laurelhurst Park every Friday.
Love that.
Comedy in the Park. I just headlined it last week, so if you were looking for that. But they do it every Friday, and it's super fun. It's like packed out. It's like a big bowl part of the park, and I don't know. No one's ever counted, but it's estimated like between 1,000 and 3,000 people show up for it. Like,
dang,
it's a lot of people. I got a video on my phone. It's a lot of people, and it's super fun. I mean, it's kind of a tough environment.
I was just gonna ask if you had to change your set because it's kind of a mixed audience as well. So and then on top of that, I mean, what is it? Jerry Seinfeld said 80% of comedy is the room.
Yes.
And if you're outside, that is the opposite of rooms.
Yes, it is the opposite of a room. And there is, it is a clean show, which is fine for me. I do, a lot of places and things want clean comedy, and I have no problem with that. But it is also a little chaotic. You got dogs barking and babies crying and a whole, there's a lot of uncontrollables. And also the feedback is, comedy is best in a dark room with a low ceiling, and so in a bright park with no ceiling, it's just But when you get them, it.
Yep.
It's just not the waves of laughter that I'm used to.
Yeah. Have you done much or any stand-up in theaters at all?
A little bit.
That is a wild experience. The first time I did that, I was in Wilmington, North Carolina. Mm-hmm. And I remember the first joke bounced off, and it's like a wall of people. Yeah. And you don't expect that kind of reverb. It actually knocked me back a step. It's pretty awesome. So if you can get to the point where you're at the Schnitz or something like that, where you can fill it up, would be pretty epic.
Comedy at the Moda.
Yeah, well, Modas.
I did it.
Did you really?
Yeah, I opened for Lionel Richie. Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, I mean, I technically opened for the guy who was opening for Lionel Richie because he was a friend of mine, and he's, Kermit Apio is a very successful Northwest comedian, and he was doing it, and he's like, "Hey, if you want to do 5 minutes in front of me, we'll make it happen."
What was that like? Because I've been to 2 shows. I went to see Dave Chappelle, which was mostly just being irritated by a guy that was very drunk.
Yeah,
5 or 6 rows behind me, just yelling, "I'm rich."
I've been that guy.
Yeah.
I was that guy at Larry the Cable Guy once.
Oh, were you really?
In my early 20s.
All
I was
right.
very drunk.
And then the other one was Adam Sandler, which is, of course, not really...
Yeah, it's not just stand-up, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he brings out... I mean, David Spade did, Nick Kroll was there, a couple other guys went up and did more traditional, but it's a big stage. stage. It's
Yeah.
it's very
Yeah.
and then he comes out and it's music, and then it's a little comedy, then it's more music, then it's special guests, then it's this, then it's that. So how was it for you doing Moda? Because it's a little delayed. It feels like the reactions if it's full.
Yeah. And it was fun. I mean, and we were like the opening of people that were there to see a concert. So I mean, the stakes were low, but it was like Theater of the Cloud setup, not the full.
Yeah.
So it was like 6,500 people, which is still a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I was sort of just didn't really pay much attention to what was going on until somebody was like, all right, get out there.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, okay, well, yeah, this is crazy.
Sure.
But it was super fun. And, there's still people that will come up to me in this town and be like, you know what, I saw you at the Lionel Richie concert. And it was also just like, because we got to stay and
sure. Did you get to hang out with Lionel Richie?
No, I didn't even.
Let's ask the real questions.
I didn't even meet him. Yeah, they specifically said, do not talk to Lionel.
You go this way, he might come within 100 feet. If you go the other way, we don't want any part of that.
But like the visitor dressing room, or locker room was our dressing room, is what I mean to say. So that was kind of cool. I mean, you're like in the Moda Center and you're like, like famous athletes have dressed in this room, and here I am putting on my pineapple shirt.
Yeah, the Moda Center, I've been there in a couple weird capacities. One, when I very first started here, they said, hey, do you want to go and get sound like from the Blazers? And going into the locker room, professional athletes are undressing and redressing and trying to stick a microphone in their face, and that's a little awkward. I did that exactly once. The other thing that they used to do is when I was doing the Saturday show, they used to do the Nike Hoop Summit on Saturdays. And our show was 9 to 11, and then people started showing up right kind of at the end of our show to do warm-ups, and then we would have a special show, and then the game would be at like 1 or 2 o'clock. So we would get there at 9, and it was completely empty. Like we were the first ones there, and being in Moda empty, and they put us up like in the press area so we could do the broadcast, and we would call the game. Somebody from our station would call the game, and so we're there as if we're doing it, but empty. And then slowly just trickling in. So very weird. Not the same as doing stand up in front of 6,500 Lionel Richie fans. I know I almost said 1,000. I knew that was not correct.
That would be crazy. But it was a cool night. I mean, just getting like being allowed to park in places at the Moda Center where they're like, I mean, we've all been to the Moda Center and had just a nightmare parking thing going on, and for them to be like, oh, you see that thing that says we will tow you if you park here?
Yep. Don't worry about it.
You're actually very fine to park right there. And it's like, wow, this is how it should be.
Jeremiah Coughlin is going to do the bonus hour with us today.
Yay.
So before we get into it, you threw me a few topics that we'll dive into, but I do want to get just a little bit, because I keep finding myself wanting to go to the Pickles, and all my weekends are full. My wife just told me that every single weekend is full except for August 22nd for the summer.
Okay.
Tell people what's going on if they've never been to a Pickles game, and what kind of fun they can expect, because everybody that I talk to about just loves the experience.
It's a blast. So, I mean, Mondays is really the only day we don't have Pickles days. So,
Perfect. After work, well, the kids finish up school this coming Monday.
There you go.
Dragging them out to a baseball game in the middle of summer sounds fun to me. So.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a 9-inning party. It's so fun. It's loose. It's college summer ball. It's wood bat baseball. It's actually very good baseball. Is one of the best parts about it. I've been to a lot of baseball, minor league baseball, and when you get into some of these like low A, like even double A, triple A, it's like the pitching can be too good or too bad. And, it's just like sometimes the games, like you look at some of those box scores and you're like, how did anybody watch this? Like, and I've been doing this for 8 seasons at the Pickles, and I'm always amazed at just how competitive it is. I mean, these are good, Division I, Division II. I mean, even some like community college guys, but they're the best guys that we can get to come and play this baseball. And it's always very competitive. It's not 1,000 runs a game like you see in some minor league games. It does happen, but for the most part, it's just very competitive. We're silly. We're fun. Nobody takes it too seriously, but it is like more serious than some of the gimmicky
it's not
stuff.
Banana Ball.
Ugh. I went to
Okay, we were talking about this yesterday.
I went to Banana Ball.
Okay, I've only seen clips of it. I know people that have gone.
I went, and it was the most painful thing I've ever sat through in my life. It's literally, it's brain rot baseball.
Is it the Globetrotters on a baseball diamond, or is it worse?
If it was that, I think I would like it.
Oh, okay.
But it's first of all, it's very geared towards young kids, and that's fine. Like,
Sure.
Find your audience, and that's great. But it's if you like baseball, you probably won't like it, at least live. Like, and they had players from the teams walking around in the audience, and so like every little kid's like running up to them trying to get their baseball signed, and it's just like all of the meme, brain rot, sticky iPad kids stuff that kids are into.
Yeah,
they cater to that, and that is great. But I don't have kids. I don't want to have kids. I don't really like I wasn't the audience for it, and I went with some of my siblings and their significant others, and so it was just like 5 adults sitting in this thing, and it was just painful to watch. And like, if you're into, I'm not trying to yuck anybody's yum, but for me personally, I couldn't get out of there fast enough. But it was bad, and it's not even
where did you
real
see it?
Baseball.
Where did you see it?
We saw him at T-Mobile in Seattle.
Okay.
And it was
my cousin was at that
whole
game.
Place out.
Yeah. My daughters are the same age as my cousin's daughter, and they went and they had a great time, and they all loved it. But that's one of the things that I try to avoid with my kids is all of that brain rot stuff that is just over sensationalized. Like, I take my daughters to a Mariners Twins game every year. And I knew immediately that they would not sit through a 9-inning game. So when they were 3 or 4, however old they were, the first time I took them up, we did not leave the play area. The next year, we left the play area, only go to go to the batting cage area, and they watched an inning of baseball. The next time, they sat and ate their ice cream and watched 2 innings of baseball. Last year, they happily stayed into extra innings, and it's me, my dad, and my daughters, and I was like, oh man, this thing's going to extras. I don't know if they're gonna run out of steam. But at 8 years old, we got them to sit through the last 3 innings of the game plus the 10th frame.
There you go.
And now they're looking forward to the game again this year. So that was exactly my plan, was go let them know that it's fun to go to the ballpark, and then figure out that they can actually have some fun watching the game. Let them pick whatever they want to eat, and but you take them to Banana Ball. The next time you take them to a Mariners game, is it going to be the same thing?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean,
yeah.
Again, my cousin's doing it a different way. We'll see where we get to, but we're all making this up as we go. But when you said all that brain rot stuff, like, I don't let them watch kids' YouTube, and I try to avoid all of those things. It
is baseball to the tune of that.
Yeah.
And it's not for me. That is a funny, like what you were just saying, that funny feeling of being at a baseball game with somebody doesn't love baseball, and I love baseball. And when a game is like tied and you're like, oh, we're going into extras, and it's like that anxiety of like, oh man, are we gonna make it out of here? Like, they're done. Like, they were done after you sing the song. Yep. And to me, like, anything after take me out to the ball game is just a bonus. Yeah. And I stay. I had this conversation with Rob Nyer, a baseball writer who's also the commissioner of the West Coast League that the Pickles play in, and he said, I used to think leaving baseball games early was a sign of weakness, and now I see it as a sign of maturity. And I was like, and he has kids, and I get that, but I don't leave early.
Well, I was having this conversation with my brother-in-law, and it was last year. Remember the Cavaliers went on that streak where they had the most ridiculous comebacks in every game that they played.
Yeah.
And I'm in Vegas with my brother-in-law who bets on, is willing to bet me on every little thing that happens in the game. And he goes, this game's there's no way that they win this game. And he pulls up the odds and goes, there's a 95% chance. And I can't remember who they were playing because they did it like 6 or 8 times in the playoffs, I remember. And he goes, there's 95% chance that whoever wins. And he goes, do you want to bet that the team? And I go, no, it was the Pacers. They were playing the Pacers. I go, no, I'm not good, because Halliburton was having those shots too. And I go, no, I don't want to make that bet, because if it happens, I want it to be a surprise. It's not something I think is going to happen, but it's going to take us 15 minutes. It'll take us 7 if the game gets out of hand. Let's just sit here and watch it. And that's what I always think when you go to the ballpark. You go to see something you've never seen before.
Yeah.
You go to see something amazing. The only way that happens is you have to have long odds and you have to have something miraculous happen. And it only matters if it happens at the end. You don't go and be like, I saw the highest scoring first quarter ever.
Right.
Like, could you imagine going to that Knicks game, game 4 in Madison Square Garden and go, wow, man, it's going to be crazy after this one. I better get out of here early, and missing a 29-point comeback.
Yeah.
It's just
people did it. I mean, when the Seahawks had that comeback, the people that were pulling on the gates trying to get back in.
There's a million examples. The Heidi game is. I had to explain to my kids the other day, and even my wife was like, "I think I know what you're talking about." And that was the one. Casey, do you know about the Heidi game?
No, I do not.
Okay, see, we've got a 24-year-old punk kid back here behind the glass. This was back
He seems like a nice guy.
He's a punk. No, I'm just kidding.
He gives me a hard time.
The Heidi game. Well, I have to. You give me a hard time because I miss a lot of your younger references, so we've been through this. But the Heidi game was a game between the Jets and Raiders, and I want to say it was early 70s, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Yes, I know what you're
And
talking about.
the game was out of hand, so NBC was debating what to do with this national broadcast, and they decided, wow, there's no way that, and I think it was the Raiders that made the comeback, no way the Raiders can win this game, so half of the country, outside of the 2 broadcast markets, switched to Heidi. And, of course, the Raiders end up come back. It's also a book.
Who's in the movie?
I don't know. It's whatever. Who cares? The movie's not the important part. The Raiders go on to have the greatest comeback in NFL history to that point, and half of the country missed it because Heidi was playing, and that's why you return to regularly scheduled program after the game concludes. So that is what it is. You mentioned to me, Jeremiah, we were talking before you came in. You're confused by the World Cup. I don't know exactly what that means. I have thoughts on the World Cup. I'd like to know what your confusion is. We'll talk about that next. You're listening to a bonus hour of Happy Hour on 105.1 The Fan.
The Fan.
Well, it's a Thursday that feels like a Friday. We've got the day off tomorrow, so there will be no live local shows. On Tuesday, we've got the Fan Golf Classic. Of course, it is sold out, so unfortunately, if you missed out, you've missed out. But the foursome in this year's tournament sold out in record time, so good for us. The tournament's presented by Toyota. They'll be at Langdon Farms Golf Club as always. Special thanks to all of our sponsors for this year's tournament. Victor Rico's is back, bringing pre-round burritos. Matt's Barbecue doing the food afterwards. The infamous sixth hole will be hosted by Angels Envy Bourbon, where all the hosts will be hanging out. And the Fan Golf Classic is presented again by Toyota. Also brought to you by Vulcan Design and Construction, Henderson and Daughter, Windows and Doors, George McCoy at Warren Allen Attorneys at Law, Battery Exchange, Mastro Dobel Tequila, Laurelhurst Market Steakhouse and Butcher Shop, Philbrook Law, 1-800-DIVORCE, Roto Rooter, Ilegal Mezcal, Pub Beer, Cheap Fun, Apex Golf, Window Nation, and did I say Laurelhurst Market Steakhouse and Butcher Shop? That sounds really good to me. I need to go get some steaks. Go ahead and hit the button there. Oh, there we go. Jeremiah,
I'm going there.
Are you tonight? You got
Saturday.
All right.
Buddy's bachelor party.
That voice is Jeremiah Coughlin, if you weren't with us for the last second. Comedian and on-field host for the Portland Pickles.
That's it.
I got it right.
I like the way you say Portland Pickles.
You gotta
You're
pop
like,
your peas.
You're doing it.
Radio professional here.
Got it.
So you told me that you're confused by the World Cup. I don't know what that means. Casey and I have been going through this conversation about the World Cup where I have not found anything on field that has gotten me really excited. I've said if the U.S. continues to play well, I'll probably eventually watch a game, but I'm not jumping in. I don't know how good Paraguay is. I don't know how good Australia or Turkey in their group are. I'm not gonna invest a bunch of time in that.
Yeah.
There's been some off-field things that are pretty funny. Scotland drank the city of Boston out of beer, which is
completely dry.
Fantastic. There's been fistfights between Argentina and Algeria in the middle of Times Square, which I love that.
Yeah.
So off-field, I can get behind the bringing the world together for a sporting event.
Summer of violence in New York right now. Just everything on my Instagram feed is just people in New York just punching each other in the face.
We pulled this up after the Knicks win the championship. They said there was 4 stabbings and a shooting.
Yeah.
Do you know how many stabbings there are on an average day in New York?
More than that.
15.
Yeah.
So, anyways, what has you confused about the World Cup?
I don't understand how and I'm not a soccer fan, okay? But I do, this is the world stage, and, I'm invested in, DraftKings really wants me to put money on like every day they're hammering me, and so I'm dabbling a little bit here.
They'd be okay if you put money on ping pong. They don't really care what you bet on.
But it's like, any kind of bonus or whatever is, they're really hammering it. And so, I'm sort of like just ancillarily following along. I don't know if that's even a word, but
I think we understood what it meant, so it counts as a word.
Love it. But the fact that the last World Cup was in Qatar, which is, as far as I know, the size of Oregon, right?
If it's even that big, it is real small. Real small.
Yep. And now this World Cup can't just be in America. It has to be in the Americas.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, why are there games in Canada and the U.S. and Mexico? Why do we have however many group? Like, there's it's a 48-team field this time?
48. They're considering 64 for the next one, which I believe is going to be in Spain, Portugal, and Morocco. So this is a trend that, as I understand it, is continuing.
Okay. And maybe I don't know the history of the World Cup, but it always seemed like it was in a host nation.
Yep.
And that, they would sort of have these matches all over the place. But now, with all of these teams and all these groups, we're up to group LMNOP or whatever now. There's too many groups. But then also, if you're in a group, like the U.S. is in group what? C?
D?
D. Okay.
D.
Ooh, that was close for a guess.
Yep.
They're in group D, and group D doesn't just play like
they're not even in a city. No, they're bouncing around.
Yeah.
So they started in Los Angeles, and they're coming up to Seattle, and then they're going to go. I don't know where they go.
So Australia played in Vancouver, and now they're playing in Seattle. And I guess they're just trying to spread the love or whatever. But to me, it's like if I was as a former logistics person, if that was me to make this schedule, okay, if you're in Group D plays in Seattle.
Sure.
And all the games are in Seattle.
Well,
and maybe it's based on what these places can take as far as like having soccer matches, because there's also 105 matches in the whole thing. That's too many matches.
They would argue against that.
They want more.
I don't know.
So I'm just having trouble grabbing, like, where it's like, okay, so Australia is playing U.S. in Seattle tomorrow, because I'm going to the Red Sox Mariner game.
Are you really?
Seattle tomorrow? Nice. And it's going to be a nightmare.
I actually thought about going this weekend. We made other plans. Yeah. And the Red Sox games are always fun ones to go to because there's a lot of Red Sox fans. So I'm with you. But yeah, I looked at the schedule this weekend. I was like, thanks, but no thanks.
And then I was like, well, maybe I'll go to a World Cup game also. And then it was like, do you have $2,000 for nosebleeds? And I was like, no.
I did hear somebody say this morning that the Egypt-Iran that'll be in Seattle was fairly affordable. So if you don't want to watch a U.S. play, I'll bet you those tickets went up even more or failed to fall because of how well the U.S. played in the first game. I think most people were probably reserved on that. But yeah, if you want to watch Egypt-Iran,
that's fair. Well, and because it'd be a long day, but that'd be a pretty fun day to watch a World Cup match in one. Go across the street, watch Mariners Red Sox.
I did the Seahawks Mariners double dip last fall, which was really fun. So you can do that. I mean, you have to you just have to balance out the intake of alcohol and And I fall asleep at a lot of sporting events. Stayed up for both of those, which I was very proud of myself for. So
awesome.
Listen, you have to figure out a time where you can do something like that. But World Cup would be a wild one for sure.
So we played a little golf yesterday. Here's a little story. We played a little golf at Rose City, and then we went and got banh mi. And when we walked in, the Congo and Portugal game was on, and it was tied, and that was a big deal. And there was two people sitting there watching it, and we started eating our food, and they were really engaged with this soccer game, and so we were talking to them a little bit about it. And then I mentioned that Friday, the whole thing, and they're like, yeah, that's why we're here. We have friends that live around Mount Rainier, and we're staying in their cabin for the next 2 days, but we just flew to Portland.
Because it was cheaper.
Yeah. But they had also said that they had won, won is a weird term, but they were in some sort of drawing for tickets, and they were one of the first people to get access to tickets.
Oh, yeah.
They paid $60.
That's pretty good.
For their 300 level tickets at Lumen. So, if the people that are buying the $2,000 ticket, like I would have flipped those fast. Yeah. I would have bought 100 tickets to Egypt, Iran, And I was talking to another friend yesterday who is a soccer guy, and he's like, the last time the World Cup was here was 30 years ago. I'm our age, he's like, I'm 42. So in my 70s, am I going to want to go to a World Cup match? And they're having matches in Seattle. I live in Portland, but I can't pay $2,000, especially, and not to, again, yuck anybody's yum if you're a soccer fan. And what if it sucks?
Yeah.
We've all seen soccer games that are like 1-0, 0-0.
We had was it Monday that there was four draws? There was 4 games that were drawn. Yeah. Well, here's how I know that I'm not that interested in the World Cup is you started that story, and I wanted to know more about the banh mi.
It was good.
Yeah. Where'd you go?
It was good. I think it's just called like Portland Banh Mi. It's like over there. We played at Rose City. My buddy was just like, oh, there's a little place around the corner. And the fact that these two, I think they were a father and son, had flown in here from Chicago. Like, I was wearing a White Sox hat. Had flown in here from Chicago, and they were like, oh, there was a laundromat across the way, and we were using it, and then we just came in here. And it was like the best banh mi I've had in forever. Ooh. And they had the soccer match on, and then, they got to talk to me. I mean, what a lucky day for those fellas.
What a dream. And it wouldn't have happened without the World Cup. So
it's bringing people together to punch each other in the face.
You don't have to love soccer to appreciate the melding of cultures, laundromats, and banh mi's. I think all of that is great. You're pointing at the screen, the Mariners with a 3-0 lead in the top of the second. Brian Wu is on the bump.
I can't see the score unless I do a little meerkat thing.
Those computer screens will move around for you if you'd like them to. Hey, Jeremiah Coughlin's going to hang out with us for the bonus hour. He is a Tom Dundon fan. Get ready to send in your hate
Yes.
text to 503-864-6326 if you would like to argue with him about why Tom Dundon is the worst owner in the history of sports. Please start sending those in while Casey takes us over to the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk for this.
This sports update is brought to you by Laurelhurst Market Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. A great spot for any occasion. Don't forget, save 10% on your Butcher Shop order when you dine in. Menus and more at laurelhurstmarket.com. Well, first on the fan, despite being a cult favorite among New York Knicks fans, Tyler Kolek.
Yeah,
He was briefly stopped by police in New York who mistook him for a fan as he was engaging the crowd in the streets of Manhattan to celebrate the Knicks title.
There is always a guy on the team that doesn't look like he belongs on the team. I was watching something where the whole team came out in street clothes, and looking at him, I 100% could have told you that was going to happen. You had puppy dogs coming out with Mikal Bridges, Mitchell Robinson driving his big old truck, chucking T-shirts. That parade looked awesome, and New York is enough fun to begin with, but that looked like one hell of a party.
Again, no wonder why he wasn't stopped. Kolek did not appear in a single game during the NBA Finals.
Not in the finals. I think he played 6 minutes per game in
He
the
was in the
playoffs.
fourth quarter of the Game 4 against the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah, I think in the total playoffs, 6
Played
minutes.
a total of 53 minutes in the postseason.
6 minutes per game was his average because they were blowing people out. So, but yes, nothing in the finals.
And for more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt, missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at WarrenAllen.com.
The home of dirt.
Casey, I'm in here just hanging out with Jeremiah Coughlin. We're just BSing through the whole break. I did not pull up the text machine, but if you want to check and see if anybody's ready to, spit venom at somebody that is all in for Tom Dundon, please let us know. But Jeremiah, I need to ask you, though, we've got the new owner in place. He has just won a Stanley Cup with his other team that he owns.
Yes.
But as I've pointed out many times, everybody hated the Blazers' old owner who just hoisted a Lombardi trophy. So I don't think that has swayed anybody against this cheap, two dimes Tommy or two nickels Tommy or cheapo Dundon or whatever people are calling him. I don't
Dundon
I don't know.
Is not very good.
No, it's not.
We need to workshop that. Cheapo Dundon is.
I don't understand it, but you said that you are pro Dundon.
Yes.
I didn't ask why, so please tell me.
I'm definitely not like the president of his fan club, but I just think that.
Wait, who is? Can I?
Let's get in.
Let's nominate each other, and we'll see who'll have a little.
Maybe
runoff.
I am now. I am as the only fan.
I'm
not. I'm
all in for.
I'm not going to say even that I'm a fan of him. I'm just. I don't know if it's like a devil's advocate thing or
can I ask you a real quick question? What did you think of Jody Allen as an owner? What did you think of Steve Allen as an owner? Because I never understood. Like, Steve passes away, or I'm sorry, Paul Allen.
Oh my God! Jeez,
my brain.
Steve Allen.
Paul Allen.
I knew you were wrong. I was letting you.
I know. Yeah,
die
thank
up
you. I
there for a
appreciate
minute.
that. Paul Allen.
Let him cook.
Jeez.
Save it for Monday.
Old Steve Allen. Paul Allen. Paul Allen passes away.
Sure.
Jody Allen takes over, and I just think it's one of those things where it probably doesn't change the operation a whole lot. Paul Allen obviously had conversations with Damian Lillard or whatever, but everybody seemed to hate Jody Allen as it went on. But as a Seahawks fan, everybody seemed to love her. So did you have a feeling about Steve, Paul, or Jody Allen?
Or now Tom
Allen, Tim Allen.
I think that's kind of the crux of it for me too. Is the whole thing is weird, right? The whole ownership thing, where it's like I don't know enough about it to say that an owner, and it really reflects what is going to happen.
Who's the worst owner in basketball? James Dolan.
Yes, exactly. People hate Dolan, right?
And
here's like where it all started with me, is listening to people that have been involved with kind of the culture change and things that have happened for the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah.
And they've been very successful. They've been in the conference finals. Was it like 4 out of the last 6 years? They've had, they just
have
won
not
the
missed the
Stanley Cup.
playoffs since he took over in 2018.
Right. And so, and they said that he did very similar things there.
Yeah.
When it was like, what people say is like penny pinching or cutting corners or whatever you want to say. The stories that I've heard that are completely, anecdotal or whatever, is that the places where he saved money, playoff T-shirts, whatever, he spent that money in places that have created a successful franchise, at least on the field.
Yep.
Okay, so when I hear that, part of it is me trying to soothe my Blazer fan friends, and I'm not a basketball guy. Basketball is right above soccer in sports that I care about, and I love sports. It's just not. It just doesn't do it for me. And so it's trying to soothe them and say, well, like these things don't necessarily mean that A, the team is moving somewhere else.
Yep.
B, that it's going to be horrible. C, that the whole thing has just been a ruse and he's come in here to make your life miserable.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the same thing that he's done other places, and maybe there's a roadmap to success that we can see from that. And some of the counter arguments have been, kind of to your Jody Allen point, which is, does someone's success in one sport that they own a team in translate to their success in another, sport that they own a team in? And, you can point at Jody Allen and say, well, obviously not.
Yeah. Well, yes,
so maybe me saying like, Blazers will be in the, it will be a champion in the next by the end of this decade.
Yeah.
Because of this guy, and they can say, well, that's insane that you would think that.
I guess the feeling that I always have is that if you're pessimistic, especially as a sports fan, 29 pessimistic fan bases will be right every year in the NBA.
Yeah.
One optimistic fan base will be right in the NBA every year, and more often than not, other than the last decade where we've seen 8 consecutive without a repeat champion.
Yeah.
That's maybe the longest run in NBA history. I haven't looked at it yet, but other than that, you see a lot of repeat champions. So if you feel like your team just won it and can win it again, most of the time you are correct in that assumption in the NBA more than any other league.
Yes.
So being a pessimist is going to be rewarded so often. So finding ways to pick apart whoever your owner is, whoever your leadership is, doesn't make sense. But I guess the point is that Jody Allen trusted the people that were already in place when her brother passed with the Seahawks, which was John Schneider, who became the first guy ever to win with an entirely different playing staff, coaching staff, and players. There was not a single person other than John Schneider that was with the Seahawks when they won the first Super Bowl. And if she came in and trusted Neil O'Shea, I've always said this, the guy's a snake oil salesman. We knew that he was toxic when it was announced he was toxic and fired because of it. But how was she to know that? If this was a guy that was already in place, already leading the team, had taken them to a Western Conference Finals, to remind a lot of people that, even though they didn't win and it wasn't a good enough team to actually, of course you know that now, but when they went there, I remember people being pretty excited.
Well, sure.
So it's the result is just so much more often rewarded when you expect things to fail in sports, because 95% of all the teams that go out there and try to win a championship don't. So congratulations, pessimist. You're always right.
Yeah. And and the whole point of it too is who owns sports teams?
Billionaires.
Right. And who do regular people hate more than everybody?
The mailman and then billionaires.
Exactly. Yeah. So nobody likes nobody likes their ownership. The only thing that makes them happy is champion. People hate Dolan, right? But I think he's probably eating out on, his championship trophy right now in New York. He's probably getting a lot of free dinners.
Yeah, he's pretty well set as far as the next decade goes until he tanks the team again. He did come out today though and say that he's not the second apron. He's like, that is death to a team. He immediately dude, you could have waited like a couple weeks for that. So he's not a smart guy. But
the parade's not even over.
I know. He couldn't wait. He couldn't help himself.
So I think that's a part of it that's, like I said, maybe it's a devil's advocate thing. Maybe it's just me trying to calm people down, but the sky is falling because Tom, is here. I don't necessarily understand it, and I've been called a bootlicker because I'm like, oh, maybe this is gonna be fine.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, you just love this billionaire guy, and I'm like, no, actually, I really don't even care.
Amen.
Like, I'm not even a huge basketball fan. I would love to see the Blazers do well. I think it's good for our city, and it's good for basketball. But at the end of the day, he's a billionaire, and he's going to do billionaire stuff.
Yep.
And we're just going to have to suffer the consequences anyways. And also, has it really been proven, name a basketball owner that has been very hands-on with their team?
Mark
Cuban. And people hate Mark Cuban.
Yeah,
and also, how many times did the Dallas win the championship with him as the owner? One time. Yep. And he was the owner for a long, what was it, like 20?
He's still a minority owner, I think, in some capacity, or is he completely
out?
I think he's out completely.
I thought either way.
It wasn't like he was there for 5 years. He was there for a long time. They won one championship, and he was the most vocal and most hands-on guy that they had the whole time in any basketball team, and people hated it.
Yep.
So it's like there's no winning, I guess, and it's like take your lumps, be your billionaire, cash your checks.
All right.
But I don't know. I just think people are a little too over their skis.
I am with you on that.
Give them a chance.
The thing that I am confused about that we needed to get into, and I did not dig deeper on this topic either. Did you say that they're silly. There's something wrong with baseball nicknames.
Yes.
All right, that'll be
Silly.
next. It is bonus hour of Happy Hour on 105.1 and the Fan Sports Network. Okay, before we get into the regular shenanigans that are a custom for Happy Hour, we have Jeremiah Coughlin for just one more segment. You've got a it's not a confusion. You think that baseball nicknames are silly. You're sitting here underneath your Pickles hat
Yeah.
to tell me.
See, that's not the nicknames I'm talking about.
I didn't know that it was. I didn't.
Yeah.
But I just want to make sure that people know that you are wearing a hat that says Pickles on it.
I do.
And the nicknames.
Yes.
Is it player nicknames in baseball?
No.
Is it team nicknames in baseball?
It is the team nicknames. So not like we're sitting here watching the Mariners and the Orioles.
The M's and the O's.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's the
Yep.
part that I'm so confused by is where those came from and how we decided, and some of them are shorter, some of them are longer.
Yeah.
A lot of them, not a lot of them, but like you're a Twins fan, right? So the Twinkies.
Well, my daughters are Twins fans.
Okay.
I am a Mariners fan, so
they're-
we go and root against each other.
the
So
Brewers are the Brew Crew, right?
yeah.
So it's like
the Bo Sox.
yeah. So
Yeah.
sometimes just Sox, like the Yanks.
Well, the Sox is always funny because you just call them Sox, and then you've got the Red Sox and the White Sox.
Yeah.
So the Bo Sox, and they don't call them the Shy Sox. They're the
No.
Southsiders.
That sounds
Well,
derogatory.
That's
the
it.
way you
It
said
kind of
that.
does
Yeah,
actually.
like
I
the
felt
way-
bad. Did I have to get dumped for that,
Yeah.
Casey? I'm not sure if that got through the.
Cancel this guy.
Oh no!
You can't go around calling people shy socks. Yeah.
Oh, you said it
That
again.
was terrible. I love it. I'm
Yeah.
not mad about it. I just think it's a silly thing. And who has made the call that if we're the Athletics, we're now the A's. If
Yeah.
we're the Orioles, we're now the O's. There's every single. I mean, I can't think of a single team that doesn't have like a shortened kind of colloquial
Yeah.
name for their team, which is good. It's a community builder. I'm just sort of baffled by it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, there's no rhyme or reason to it, I don't think.
Now you've got my head running through trying to think of the abbreviations for every
the
team.
Stros.
You got the Stros,
I
the
guess
Rockies.
the Rangers don't have.
Yeah, the Rockies are the Rocks.
The Cubs are the Cubbies.
Cubbies.
See,
Yeah, so
that
that's
one's
actually
longer.
extended. Dodgers, Angels. I'm stuck on those two.
The Halos.
The Halos. There you go.
And I don't know, the Doyers.
The Doyers. Do you hear that? Giants. Do they have a? Because they have the Giganta or whatever it is on the uniforms.
Giants.
But they
That's
don't
a
really
good one.
have one. I'm trying to think if they all have one. They used to be the Devil Rays, and they always got called the Rays. So now they're just a Rays.
Now
But
we're
do
just
they?
the
but
Rays.
Do they have? They don't have an abbreviation. They
The
went all in.
Rangers.
I'll tell you the
Yeah,
worst.
the Rangers don't really have one.
The worst one to me has always been the D-backs. Feels
D-backs is bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
feels like a terrible abbreviation there.
I like calling them the Serpientes.
Wow,
you go.
that is
That is
better.
good.
But yeah, anytime
Yeah.
they wear D-backs on their thing, I'm like, that's not. I don't think that is as cool as you think it is.
Yeah.
But that in print or just in speech always
The
feels kind of.
Redbirds for the
I
Cardinals.
do like the Redbirds.
You like that
but
one?
they never call the Blue Jays the Bluebirds.
No, they're just the Jays.
The Jays, exactly. So yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, Redbirds always works for me. Yeah, I don't know if it's it, but how do you have any nicknames that you get?
For me personally?
For you personally.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm also a nickname person.
Okay.
Like most people, whatever it takes, I'll find something clever to call them.
Yeah.
It's just the way that my brain works. But yeah, I mean, like most people just call me JC now.
Okay.
And that's good.
Yeah.
JC works.
Well, that's a little full of yourself in there.
Hey,
Just
I'm
call
the
me
big guy.
JC,
The big guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like as a fan, like my family name was Maya. For my whole,
Sure.
which is
Yeah.
like just the last 4 letters of my first name.
Yeah.
In high school and college, they called me Tunzo,
Yeah.
which was fun, like tons of fun.
Sure. Yeah. See, when I was in high school, I had different nicknames for different sports. I had the same coach for football and baseball. This guy, Gary Gurman. If anybody went to Mountain View High School between 1943 and 2010, he was probably still there. Unreal.
Wearing
cuss.
those high water bike shorts.
Oh, man. He used to do
and,
like the
a
Vulcan
white
death
t-shirt.
pinch on people, like walking around and grab high school students and
yeah.
put them on their. Yeah, anyways. But he always called me Andy, short for Anderson. And that was my football and baseball nickname. But then I would always kind of buzz my hair to put the football helmet on and off was easier. The baseball hat going on and off. And then when I played basketball, I would not cut my hair from the last day of football till the first day of baseball. And so my nickname in basketball was Shaggy.
Oh,
from
see?
Scooby-Doo. But those fell off after high school, and I've had multiple logins at different work where your little signature on the computer is the first two letters of your first name and the first two letters of your last name. So in multiple stops, I've been Luann because
you
your
go.
little signature is, everybody, who's the last one to make an adjustment to this file? And it was Luann.
Yeah.
So I've had that, but outside of that, I can't think of a nickname that I
See, and
that I
mine
have all the
was
time.
like first initial, first four
Yeah.
or five, so it was Jacoff, which don't say that too quickly. Yeah,
You did slow down quite a bit.
Jacoff.
Yep.
What is some kind of Jacoff?
Yeah, well, yeah. Yes, I am. As a matter of fact, wear that one with pride, don't I? So, I think it's just one of those things that picks up. The one thing that drives me crazy is the J-Rod squad
Yeah,
for Julio Rodriguez, because most
Yeah.
people that I know of as Mariners fans don't call him J-Rod.
No.
He's Julio.
yeah, he is Julio.
He's Julio, and he's not Julio Rodriguez. He's just Julio. If you're
Yeah.
gonna do the chant, it's never J-Rod, J-Rod. There's so many rods in sports. A-Rods and
K-Rod, E-Rod,
yeah,
P-Rod.
Yeah,
P-Rod. Yeah, there's a lot of rods out there,
Yeah.
and a lot of them use it. A-Rod is Alex Rodriguez.
Mm-hmm.
J-Rod is who is J-Rod? There's another J-Rod that always comes to mind. But some people will try to give A-Rod to Aaron Rodgers, which drives me crazy.
yeah.
But the J-Rod, it's in print, it's all over the place, and anytime I see it in a headline, I'm like, just put Julio.
People call Julio J-Rod.
I know that's what I'm saying. I don't think people call him that on a regular basis. Usually Julio for Mariners fans.
See, and I assume that the baseball nickname thing, like all of the baseball stuff, just goes back to like print media.
Sure.
Where it was like some baseball writer somewhere in a newspaper called him the Cubbies, called him the Redbirds, whatever. I mean, it might be Harry Carey, so like might have started the Cubbies. He might have started the Redbirds thing. He worked there first.
But I don't know. You see another Mariners fan and you go, "Let's go M's!"
Yeah,
It's
I will funny.
I will say that I'm glad that they did not end up being the Pilots. They
Yeah.
started as the Pilots. They moved to Milwaukee, became the Brew Crew, and then you bring in the Mariners. But Mariners much better. No offense to the University of Portland.
Yeah,
We have your beer right here in the studio, but
saw
much rather have Mariners than Pilots.
I did see a thing recently about socks, like it's the SOX socks in
Yep.
baseball is like some like turn of the century thing where they were trying to change, like we were trying to get away from the English dictionary.
Ben
and to the
Franklin
American.
actually tried that to do an Americanized, but it was going to be a phonetic spelling of everything. So there was a
Yeah.
lot of that,
And that's where the baseball socks is. That's because it's the only time we use that spelling of socks.
I think we can agree on one thing: if Portland ever gets a baseball team, they will come up with a terrible mascot.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
And they'll be the Wet Sox, I think.
The Wet Sox. I actually would not be terribly mad at. If I had one, I think Axeman would be mine. And I don't know that that would go. Then you can call him the Axe.
According to Wikipedia, it originated in early 20th century for abbreviating stockings.
Yep.
Because of columns, just for spacing.
Well, there you go. So
Yeah,
print media,
it's a newspaper.
print
Told you.
media.
It's
I'm
these
gonna
baseball
give you
writers.
a minute and a half to tell people what's going on with the Pickles, so they can get out of here, and then we'll get you out of here.
Much cool stuff with the Pickles. So first of all, Saturday. So it's Father's Day weekend, but we're doing Mother's Day on Saturday because
I
we
like that.
don't
Yeah, 'cause
play.
you don't play.
We don't play during Mother's Day. So it is Mom's Gone Wild night. But give Mom the attention they deserve. That'll be fun. And then Sunday is a Father's Day doubleheader.
Nice.
I think the first game's at 2. Don't quote me on that. Google it. But it's either 1 or 2. And then back by popular demand is Fart Night next Thursday. It's the 26th this Thursday?
No, 25th.
25th. Thank you. Thank God you're here.
Don't worry about it. I've got somebody coming in on the 26th, which is Friday. So
Presented by Jackass, the new Jackass movie. So there'll be Jackass giveaways, and there'll be a fart noise contest, and this one
fart
plays
noise contest,
Yeah.
not an actual fart contest. I guess you can make the noise however you want.
Yeah, that's up to you.
Okay.
We'll leave that up to the artist.
The fartist. Sorry.
Grateful Dill Night's coming up, which is limited release tie-dye jerseys. So that's cool. Anytime we get to do Grateful Dill Night, some of these things are recurring.
Yeah.
This will be
Back by popular demand.
Back by popular demand. Like I was telling you, this is our third fart night iteration. And, one night it was toot night and then it was crop duster night. But I think we're fully leaning into the fact that we love farts. And, what goes better with, college wood bat baseball than a little flatulence noises and everybody giggling. I mean, we're the Pickles. How serious can we be, guys?
Amen to that. Love having you in.
Yeah,
thanks for coming in.
Here.
Jeremiah Coughlin, any stand-up coming up or just doing Pickles?
We're just doing Pickles, yeah. I'm opening for Kyle Kinane in Prosser, Washington. If we're reaching to the hotbed of Prosser, Washington, that's on July 12th, just Saturday. And we're going to do some more cool stuff here in around town. So
fantastic. Maybe we'll have you back in before the summer of bonus hours is over. I would love to have you back after the 4th of July holiday or something like that. We'll talk more and figure that out. But right now we need to get into our normal shenanigans of happy hour. That is next on 105.1 The Fan.
Glenn, I got
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on The Fan, the first round of the U.S. Open Championship at Shinnecock Hills Golf Club in New York is officially underway. Amateur Ryder Cohen is your current leader at 3 under through 8. But some important tee times and scores for you as Scotty Scheffler he got out to a slow start as he finished his first round 2 over. The group of Jason Day, Colin Morikawa, and Aaron Rai teed off at noon as Aaron Rai, he is crawling up the leaderboard as he is now in second place, tied with Sam Stevens, Bryson DeChambeau, Wyndham Clark, and Xander Schauffele, all at 2 under as they are over on hole 5. Some World Cup updates for you as we have 4 more group stage matches for you. Czechia and South Africa kicked off early this morning as that match ended in a 1-1 draw. Switzerland has gotten out to a 3-0 lead against Bosnia as that game is about wrapped up. At 3 p.m., our friends to the north in Canada will face off against Qatar. And wrapping up today's slate of games is our brethren to the south as Mexico will face off against South Korea at 6 p.m. Your U.S. men's national team is back in action tomorrow as they face off against Australia at noon. Both USA and Australia with 3 points in the Group D stage as the U.S. comes into the match as -170 betting favorites. And finally, your Portland Fire picked up the victory at home last night as they defeated the Seattle Storm 94-89. Bridget Carlton leading the way for the Fire as she posted 24 points, 3 steals, and 2 blocks on 7 of 13 shooting from the 3-point line. Fire have a few days off but are back in action on Wednesday taking on the Chicago Sky for a 2-game road trip. And for more sports scores and stories in 60 minutes, I'm Lowercase from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt, missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at WarrenAllen.com.
This is the Fans.
Hey, happy early Father's Day, all you beautiful radio listeners. Thank you for dropping in on our normal happy hour. We're starting to touch late here, but we appreciate you listening. If you're watching us on YouTube, here's a hand gesture just for you. YouTubers, feel free to hit us up on the chat. If you're listening through the radio on 105.1 FM or 1080 AM, online at 1051thefan.com, Odyssey.com, the Odyssey app, or you just ask your smart speaker to see how long it will take them to get to the actual happy hour. And this is what you got. Use the fan text line. It's 503-2GO-FAN. That's 503-864-6326. Use it. Use the text, use the chat, share your thought, ask questions, solicit advice, or answer me this, dear listeners. You going to play Take Your Pick with us? 2:30, we're going to play Take Your Pick. Go to @FanHappyHour on X. Go to my personal Facebook page. Find the link to the forum, and you can pick the weekend series in Major League Baseball with us. You win, you'll get invited on to the show. Did we confirm? Are we going to have our guy on today?
50-50.
50-50. We're 50-50.
You might have a meeting that runs long, but we're going to try.
Logan Hockley was our winner last week. We're going to try to get him on. We've been in communication, but he's got a meeting, so we'll see if we can make that happen. But before we do any of that, we're a little late, so let's dive right into some In Case You Missed It, shall we? In case you missed it, the typically proactive Philadelphia Eagles are reportedly hesitating over defensive tackle Jalen Carter's as a lucrative long-term extension is due, but concerns over reliability and character are making them have cold feet. Character issues with Jalen Carter? Tell me, how many times has he been kicked out of a game at the start of the season, before the game even started, by spitting in an opponent's face before the first play that led to an Eagles loss? Tell me that. Never. Not one time. Spitting in Dak Prescott's face isn't hurting the team as much as it is just channeling the everyday Phillies fan. That's all you're doing. Philly fan. Call it a character issue if you must. But, you know, he was fresh for game 2, saved himself some wear and tear. Maybe they should call it Lug Management. No? Lug. Throwing the first one, but you're okay with Lug Management?
Dak spit on him first.
Did he really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't see him spit. I didn't see the first spitter.
Oh,
but it's the second spitter always gets caught.
That's what they say.
Everybody. I know he's talking trash. I didn't see him spit, but I know Dak was not upset about it. So I'll have to see this video. But with AI, I don't know if I can trust it. In case you missed it, LSU head coach Lane Kiffin boldly guaranteed that he will bring Baton Rouge its first national championship since 2019. Unless, of course, the Alabama job opens up. Am I right? If I know anything about Kiffin, he'd probably take the Crimson Tide National Championship trophy on a spite tour to all the places he left, which would mean it would go back to Baton Rouge at some point. So, boy, that guy. Is he just ignoring their baseball championships? That's unbelievable. What a jerk. In case you missed it, a new federal bill that grants the NCAA an antitrust exemption and reshapes college sports is heading for a full Senate vote. This is monumental. Do you realize how much the landscape will change once Congress finally passes federal laws for these schools to completely ignore? I mean, that'll be... No? This won't be the same NCAA if they're backed by the federal government. Boosters won't be able to just ignore this. They'll have to figure out a strategy and find out how they can bribe federal regulators before they can ignore them. It'll be totally different. Federal intervention would change everything, right? When schools want to buy a 5-star player, they won't be able to use NIL. They'll have to launder their money through a super PAC like the government does. It'll be totally... Players won't have to worry about agents. That's a good thing, right? Instead, they'll have to pay the same amount of money to lobbyists, but they won't have to worry about agents. Is that... No? In case you missed it, following the UFC Freedom 250 event at the White House, UConn head coach Dan Hurley pitched the idea of playing basketball on the South Lawn against Duke. Yeah, next to the basketball court, you can put in a trampoline so Eric and Don Jr. can play dunk ball. It'll be sweet. If taxpayers are paying for the White House renovations, let's make the lawn look American. Put in an above-ground pool, a Weber grill, and let the neighbors' dogs crap on the grass. Let's make this thing... And finally, in case you missed it, new Chicago Bulls head coach Tiago Splitter is drawing on his childhood memories of the Michael Jordan-era Bulls to rebuild the team's winning culture. He said, and I quote, "I guarantee you one thing. You're going to compete every night, and we're going to have high standards with everything we do." Okay, Blazers fans, I apologize. I brushed off the departure of Tiago Splitter, but to be fair, that was before I knew he was planning to try and have expectations. So my apologies. I didn't know he was going to go that far. What? He wants to bring back the Jordan era. Damn, he's the first guy to ever think of that. What a strategy. Yeah, draft the greatest human ever to play the game, surround him with Hall of Famers, and exploit the 90s salary cap loophole that lets you pay him $30 million. What a genius. I can't believe we just let the next Phil Jackson go. I'm sorry. I was wrong. Thank you to our studio audience. We're doing Take Your Pick at 2:30. Go to @FanHappyHour. Get on your copy of the form so you can play along with us. We'll get all the results back, and if you win, you'll be invited on the show. You can do what Jeremiah Coughlin did. Just come in and hang out, tell stories, or you can make all your picks however you want to do it. We got to talk about what's going on with the Mariners, the Portland Fire, and the home run derby clock. All of that in the Daily Buzz. We do it next on Happy Hour. This is 105.1 The Fan.
The biggest question.
I was just going to say it's a one-hitter, but as I'm watching it, Brian Wu has given up his second hit. It is a shutout right now in the top of the fifth. Only 56 pitches for Mr. Wu. 2 outs, now 1 on. That ball goes right over his head back up the middle. But the Mariners have a 3-0 lead as we sit. Julio Rodriguez not out in center field today. He left yesterday's contest with a spasm in his hamstring. That was after hitting a 103.5 mile an hour double in the fourth inning, but he is now out of today's game. Naylor had a wrist issue yesterday. Raley had a back issue. I have seen Josh Naylor playing. I have not seen Luke Raley. So injuries starting to pile up. We also got some insight on what the plans are for Cade Anderson and Ryan Sloan. And right now, it sounds like they have no intention of bringing up the 2 young pitchers anytime soon, especially when you have 6 guys in the rotation. Speaking of the 6 guys in the rotation, we talked about the piggyback quite a bit yesterday. Well, the TV analyst Ryan Healy would like to make a suggestion. This is not a piggyback, and we shouldn't call it a piggyback. Just call it a starter surplus, and it'll sound a lot better. So he's trying to rebrand it so it sounds like the Mariners are doing something clever instead of something weird.
Former Seattle Mariner, Ryan Healy.
Oh, yeah, of course. Absolutely, sir.
The Buzz.
And it's Ryan, R-Y-O-N. What a bizarre spelling for the name Ryan. If you missed the fire yesterday, Bridget Carlton tied a franchise record with 7 3-pointers yesterday, and they defeat the Seattle Storm 94-89. Take that, Seattle, you bunch of punks.
The Buzz.
You cheer at the same time. I was like, did I get that? That sounded very, very bizarre. The Home Run Derby is making changes to its format when you get into the All-Star Weekend this year. They are abandoning the pitch clock, and they will instead go with a pitch limit setup, giving each hitter 20 swings. If you continue to hit home runs on your 20th swing, you'll get a 21st, 22nd, and so on, as long as the balls fly out of the park. So instead of having to go up there and rush, wait for your good pitch and go there. We'll see how it goes this year. The good news is nobody's afraid to change the format of the Home Run Derby, and nobody's allowed to be upset about it because it's the Home Run Derby. So
Just take the kids out of the outfield.
Put more kids in the outfield. Put toddlers in the outfield. Put infants out there. Just a bunch of car seats sitting out there holding them, strollers. Moms out there breastfeeding. Do whatever you want. The youngest kids possible. Bring it on.
The Buzz.
I heard you complaining about that earlier. Who cares? It's kids. Come on. You wouldn't want to be out there if you were a kid?
Not when 100. Again, what'd you say for Julio's hit the other day?
103.
103.5 off the bat, and that one didn't leave the yard.
It did not. That's a double. Listen, they got to practice their one-hops. How many of those kids end up to be major leaguers later on, and they show that scar of that time?
Probably zero.
No, it's all the kids of the players and everybody. I'm okay with it. I am okay.
Maybe one Chapman and one Holiday. That's about it.
There's got to be more than that. Isn't Trey Griffey out there doing something?
Don't they?
Of course he didn't
Don't
play.
they each have like 3 kids apiece?
Oh, wait now. Let's not stereotype baseball players. Oh, you're talking about the Holidays and the Okay, I'm just kidding. What was I going to say? We were going on to something else.
The Buzz.
Trae Young has declined his option and will become a free agent. The massive decline was for a $48.97 million player option. The leader to sign Trae Young? Still your Washington Wizards. I don't know what that means for how much money he's going to make, but I'm guessing he knows exactly what's going on. Would you like to see Trae Young in a Blazers uniform?
No.
Okay, me neither.
God, no.
Okay. Amen to that. I was just checking. I mean, listen, if he goes anywhere else, who cares? But yeah.
Would you
need
lick
shooting.
Would you lick a Tootsie Pop after it rolled under the couch?
Is that the equivalent of Trae Young? I mean, that's what his hair looks like. Hey-o. Just a little fuzz hanging off, whatever you pulled out from under the couch sticking up there.
5-second rule. No
Yeah.
thanks.
Trae Young is equivalent to the 5-second rule. That I love.
The The Buzz.
All right. Do you have the scoreboard up on who's leading the U.S. Open? There was a 2-hour delay because of dense fog this morning. There were gusts expected up to 62 miles an hour this afternoon. They're playing at Shinnecock Hills out on Long Island, which is a notoriously difficult course, but the weather's not supposed to be super friendly, and so far so bad for the weather. Who is atop the leaderboard?
Amateur Ryder Cohen is your leader. He
look
is
at that.
3 under through 9. Followed by Sam Stevens, Wyndham Clark, Bryson DeChambeau, and Xander Schauffele, who are all tied at 2 under.
We were talking about nicknames earlier. Is there a better nickname than Wyndham Clark being called Blowpig? Or Blowham? Blowpig. Windham.
That's a pretty good one.
Blowpig. That one I like very much. Not expected to finish the first round today, or did they pick up the pace a little bit, go out in bigger groups?
They picked up the pace. It
Okay.
seems like they will get through the field today.
All right, yeah. Earlier this morning they said they did not expect to finish the first round on Thursday, but that'll obviously make things a little bit better for a Father's Day finish if they can get things picked up. And a lot of times they build in room so that if they get delayed, they can do that. With that, let's walk over to the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk and see what we missed.
This sports update is brought to you by Mountaintop Metal Roofing. No maintenance, energy efficient, fire resistant, and a lifetime warranty. Do it once, do it right. Visit mountaintopmetalroofing.com. First on the fan, a former Iona basketball player was ruled ineligible by the NCAA on Thursday for his alleged role in a point-shaving scheme. That included threats from one of the bettors involved.
Oh, how about that?
Adam Njayi Jr. shared information to known bettors ahead of 2 Iona games in December of 2024 during his freshman season. The NCAA found evidence that a bettor threatened Njayi with physical harm after the Rice game and that they plan to fix Iona's next game against Sacred Heart to make up for the losses. Drop the documentary now.
You've watched the movie Goodfellas?
I have.
They don't get caught stealing the haul from the airport. They don't get caught killing people and throwing them in trunks. That whole thing wraps up with the Boston College betting scandal. So this is not new. It will not go away. This is a story that you can probably set like clockwork that will come up every so often. Unfortunately, not new. And if they start getting it out of the higher levels, it will just go to lower levels.
And
we'll
if you remember it, a few months ago, an Abilene Christian basketball player was
Not
ruled
new,
ineligible
yeah.
for the same reason.
Not new, not going away.
And for more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt, missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of the fan. here's your host, Luke Anderson.
All right, welcome in. Take your pick. Go to @FanHappyHour on X. Go to my personal Facebook page, and you can find the form to play along. Our goal is to get 1 million players. Also, just a little update, we are working on the full NFL season. We'll probably have that out fairly soon, where we can pick the entire season in one shot. We'll see how smart everybody is when we get to February 14th next year and we have a Super Bowl winner. But right now, we need to bring on our winner from last week, Logan Hockley, our first-time winner of Take Your Pick. Logan, thanks for joining us. I guess your meeting went well, or at least it didn't go too long.
Hey, Luke, I'm actually in the car on the way back right now, so I'll try not to give you your first on-air collision here.
Oh, yes, please do not do that. I don't want any part of that. I did once do a segment of Sinner and Saint while I was driving over the Markham Bridge on New Year's Day because the plans on New Year's Eve didn't go so well. So I have done a segment from the car, but I did not have a collision that morning either. Anything that you want to get out of the way before we start going into picks? Anything in sports that you need to address while you have the airwaves? They're all yours, Logan.
Oh, boy, anything in sports? Not really. You know, it's funny. We're going to kind of go through this, but it tells you just how much of a crapshoot this can be because I'm a Mariners fan, but I kind of just draw from the hip, and apparently it works out every once in a while.
Well, we looked it up the other day. Baseball is the most likely sport to have upsets from a game-to-game basis. So, yeah, who knows what's going on. And I was going to do my little quick research on every team, but Jeremiah got me thinking about every nickname that's out there. So we'll start it off with the Amazing Metropolitans against the Phils. Do you have a good feeling on this one, Logan?
Well, you know, I don't have a lot of hope in the Mets, but I've got a couple of friends in New York, and I told them I bet on the Spurs, and I'm already – the friendship's hanging on by a thread, so I'm going to go Mets here.
I wonder if the Mets will get any juice from what the Knicks did because they are struggling right now. I mean, all season so far. Phillies figured it out. They started off like terrible as well, but I think I'm going to go with the Phils. I don't think the Knicks will translate over. We've got the Redbirds against the Boys in Blue. That is Cardinals at Royals. Do you care at all about the state of Missouri? Do you have friends there, Logan?
Well, literally every single one of these I'm going to draw to a personal connection, I'm sure. My dad's a Cardinals fan, so, you know, as smart as I am, I decided to pick the Mariners instead of the team with a million championships. So I think I'm going to have to go with the Cardinals for Pop there.
Well, if you'd like to have a celebration that will rival what the Knicks are doing right now, it'll probably be if the Mariners ever win a World Series. Yeah. Seattle will be burnt to the ground, as it were. Is that a home run? Nope, Cole Young, warning track power. Halos and A's will be your West Division matchup. We can't pick both of them to lose as Mariners fans. You have any feeling on this one, Logan? Sorry.
Oh, boy. Just out of pity, I'll go A's.
Well, the A's have been pretty good, man. That lineup, I do not like playing against them very much at all. Let me see here. I had to pull up a list. I was struggling to find well, I guess the Blue Jays are just the Jays. So Jays, Cubbies. Feels like the Cubs have turned things around after a terrible stretch. The Blue Jays, even Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was surprised that he was leading All-Star voting at first base because they still haven't got things on track. Jays at Cubbies. Who you got?
Ooh, well, you know, I think I'm going to go Cubbies here. Again, still raw from last year's postseason. And believe it or not, I also have a personal connection with the Cubs, like I said. Pretty much every team, so I'll go Cubs here.
Isn't that the beautiful thing about baseball? You got little connections to every team. I could probably do something similar. So I pulled up on Google. It does say Shy Sox are one of the options of the nickname, even though we felt it was uncomfortable earlier when we were talking about it. But the other one is Southsiders. So I'm going to go with
Southsiders.
Amen to that. I'm going to go Southsiders at Motown Kitties. Who are you going to take between the Tigers and the Sox? You should have Skubal making his return to the mound in Detroit this weekend. So his first home start since coming off of that magic elbow surgery that he had.
Well, I'll take the Tigers. You know, I was deciding between Oregon State and Seattle U back when, so go Beavs, Casey. And so I got a little tie there to Seattle
that.
U, and therefore a little tie to Scooble.
All right, I'll take that as well. The Big Red Machine against the Evil Empire. We know Casey's taken the stupid Yankees. Which team do you have a stronger connection to, Logan?
Neither, but
Come on, the one I set you up for.
I'll go with Yankees here just so I don't get cut off the phone a little early by Case there.
That's a good choice.
Oh, it looks like we lost the connection here. I don't know.
Oh, no, he drove through a
tunnel. The Nats and the Rays do not really have a nickname, at least according to the internet. You can call them the Devil Rays, but that's not even a nickname. That's a mistake at this point since they've eliminated that from their thing. So one of the few teams on here that does not have one. They are slowly slipping back into the field of the American League East. They're now 3.5 behind the Yankees. Is that
Yes,
right?
sir.
And the Nationals can put up some runs. Who do you like in this series, Logan?
Well, I'm not taking the Nationals. They just kind of embarrassed me recently with the Mariners. So
They for sure did.
Not the Nationals.
Not the Nationals. All right, I'll take that. The Giants didn't really have a great nickname. The internet gave me G-Men, which is the New York Football Giants. I can't put that on them. They did have the Gigantes,
Sure.
which is out there, and then they called them Orange and Black. So I'm going to say the Giants don't have a proper nickname. They'll be playing at the Fish down in Florida. So who do you like, the Marlins or the Giants? The Giants, the first sellers right now in a season that is going the wrong way.
Oh boy. Well, let's see. I will go. I'll go Marlins here. I won't say why because I don't want to upset the YouTube chat, but I'll go Marlins here.
Oh, you're afraid of the YouTube chat. Is there some violence going on in the YouTube chat? Gentlemen, ladies, if you're on YouTube and you're threatening people like Logan, that needs to stop. This is a show that is built around love and not hate. So please, especially going into Father's Day weekend, be nice. Brew Crew at the Bravos. The Braves are kind of a machine right now. I have a hard time picking against them. But if I was going to put another team in that category, it'd be the Brewers. So who do you like in this one?
Yeah, I'll go Atlanta here. You know, you said it. They're kind of a machine right now, which of course means then the Brewers will win because I said that out loud. But let's go with that.
Make no mistake, Logan. Everything that you say, I'm going the other direction. So if anybody wants to know what my picks are, they are the
Pocket pancakes.
Pocket pancakes and botulism.
Well, I can't wait until I submit my form and it's like completely different than what I said live on the air.
No, I think that's fair. That's fair too. People can go and look up the results, and I do about the same thing every single week as well. The Rangers do not have an abbreviated nickname. There is not one listed for them, Casey. So I think we were right earlier when we were talking about that. You got the Padres, which I love the Friars as their nickname. So the Friars at the Rangers. Who do you like?
Let's go Padres. Another personal connection. One of my softball teammates is from San Diego. So, you know, it's always been weird to me that when they do rivalry weekends, we're playing the Padres. I'm like, I don't know how that makes sense. I know it's geography, but I don't know. I guess there's a little bit of a tie
If you're
there.
going to disparage the Vetter Cup and say that it's not the greatest rivalry in the history of sports, I am not going to be very happy with you. I will say I thought the same thing, but make the trip down to San Diego and you will see a ton of Mariners representing, and the same thing when the Padres come up. So if you ever get a chance to go to the Vetter Cup, do it.
Okay.
Thank you, Casey. Let's see. Guards at Stroh's, don't care. Buccos at Rocks, don't care. Twinkies at D-backs, really don't care about that. Red Sox are coming to town for the Seattle Mariners. I pick the Mariners every week, and they cannot seem to win a weekend series. They've got the game in control right now and could win this series against the Orioles, but I'm saying it live on the air, so that'll probably jinx them. I know you're picking the Mariners. Give me a reason why they win.
Well, the reason why they win is because baseball is incredibly fluky, and I mean, clearly I know ball, and that's why I won this week. And so I'll say that because we're expecting them to struggle, that's when they win.
Yeah, well, amen to that. And the final series of the weekend, the Orioles have looked decent in this series. They looked good last week against the Mariners, so you've just got to watch them. Do you think they have a chance against the mighty Dodgers if going into this weekend in Chavez Ravine?
You know, my heart says, my brain says Dodgers, but my heart says I got to root for my boy Rushman there in Baltimore. So I will say Baltimore, but I don't even believe it saying it.
I gotcha. Are you a parent, Logan?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, call your dad. Have a wonderful Father's Day weekend. Enjoy the U.S. Open. I appreciate you listening to the show. I appreciate you playing along.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks a lot. If you want to play along with our picks and Logan's picks, see if you can beat him this week, go to @FanHappyHour on X. You can find the link to the little Google form that we made. Just pick the winners of the weekend series, and you can be a champion. If you are interested and don't have Twitter, go to my personal Facebook page, and you can find it there as well. We're shooting for 1 million people. Last week, I think we had 18, so we just need just a couple more, and we'll be right there.
20 last week.
Oh, 20.
20 last week.
Please forgive me. Or is it 20 this week already?
No, it was 20 last week.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see if we can get to that 1 million. That is the goal. We want to take over the universe with this pick. I'm trying to get that football one out. I think I figured it out. We talked about this last week. I think I've got the playoff set up. You're gonna have to remember some stuff through it. I can't figure out how to make it default. You pick this, so they'll show up in the next question, and I don't want to try.
We only work as much as Google lets us.
Thanks. Well, yeah, I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. I don't need to have AI write me code and do all that. I'm just doing it the old dumb way. So we'll get that out. We're going to talk a lot of NFL as this summer goes on until the Duck Insider returns on August 1st. Right now, we need to get one more for the road, and that road goes right down the Canyon of Heroes in New York. We'll talk about the best things and the worst things that we saw at the parade for the Knicks. That's one more for the road. That is next. This is Happy Hour, and this is 105.1 and the Fan Sports Network. You missed anything from this show, past shows, future shows? Find the podcast, 1051thefan.com, Odyssey.com, the Odyssey app. 1,844 sockeye yesterday. Casey, what are the people saying on the YouTube chats and the fan text line?
Got a text line that says, the first time my wife saw Trae Young, she said somehow his hair is both too long and too short.
I don't know how you can have that much money and have that bad a haircut. I just cannot figure it out. Like, he looks in the mirror every time he goes out to play and just goes, yeah, nailed it.
And then the Dodgers, the Dodgers are the Doyers.
Doyers, yeah. No, there was a handful of nicknames as I was going through, but yeah, the Rangers, nothing. They don't have they're not the Marshalls, they're not the Texas Rangers.
And that could be
they're just
the
the Texas
easiest
Rangers.
one.
Yeah, but there's just nothing. I don't know. You would think that it would be, but I don't know if the New York Rangers have any nicknames. But there you have it. There are no nicknames, at least according to internet. So if you're a Rangers fan and you got something, let us know. But right now, let's...
I got one for you real quick.
Go ahead.
The New York Rangers, also known as the Blue Shirts, or simply the Rags.
Okay, see, I like that, but nothing for the Texas Rangers.
Nothing for Texas.
I called the Royals the Boys in Blue. That was also a nickname that was thrown up for the Dodgers. They can't both be the Boys in Blue. The Cincinnati Reds had the Big Red Machine, which is, of course, back to a team that was unstoppable for the Reds. I think of that more than all the Reds, but somebody called them the Red Legs, which would kind of be the same as the Red Sox. So there are some weird nicknames even to start with in baseball. But let's do one more. An hour ago, the New York Post put out their estimate saying 2 million people showed up for the parade today. There was plenty of people out there that were just there to troll Victor Wembanyama. Jalen Brunson taking disguised shots at everybody that's taking shots at him, saying that they're not worth it, maybe not using that kind of language. You saw James Dolan out there talking about the luxury tax for some reason because he still doesn't get it. What was your favorite moment from the parade or favorite photo that you saw? Because the whole spectacle looked befitting of what we got from that. Somebody called it the best 5-game NBA Finals series ever. I think I'm okay with that. But I also think it's recency bias, and we do this every time we get through a good series. We call it the best. I'd have to dig back.
Yeah, immediately as you said that, I was like, what's a real good 5-game series that we've seen?
I don't know, but I don't think there's any question the Knicks became America's team as much as New York's team because the whole Frenchman leading the Alamo didn't quite feel the same as Davy Crockett and Daniel Boone. So with that, do you have any favorite moments from the parade that you saw today?
Anything Mikal Bridges has done on his Instagram Live in the past 24 hours.
Yeah, just killing it.
Oh, he's been faded on his Instagram Live, just yapping it up, and it has been hilarious.
The one thing that did not go well, at least that I am seeing here, is the City Hall put up all of the names and jersey numbers on the side of it so that you could celebrate the entire team, but they mixed up one of the numbers and put a guy, Dylan Jones, who did not play in the series. His number is 1 for the Knicks. It was 33 with previous teams, and they put it up as Dylan Jones, number 33. That number, of course, is retired for someone named Patrick Ewing. So I don't know if that's a worse shot at Jones or Ewing or just,
that's a twofer.
Bureaucrats getting the paperwork incorrect. They probably blamed Ewing and Jones for the mistake, as good government officials do. It's not our problem. It's your problem. But anyways, it was a befitting celebration. People climbing up scaffolding and hanging out all over the side of it. Mondani looked like he was having the time of his life. He was great. All of the speeches that I saw, even the little snippets of them, really sounded awesome. It's a celebration that was 53 years in the making. 10,000 New York police officers deployed for the event, the most for a parade ever. is what they're telling me. So quite the chaos, but a ton of fun. Big thanks to Jeremiah Coughlin, who came in to hang out with us for the first hour. Big thanks to Logan Hockley, who came in for Take Your Pick. Please play along with us next week. Big shout out to Steve Allen, Paul Allen, Jody Allen, Tim Allen. Of course, thank you everybody that listened. Thank you.
Before I go, happy birthday, Luke Anderson.
Oh, not yet. Not till. It'll be not this weekend, the next weekend.
Next weekend.
Yeah,
I had it wrong.
You're fine. Thank you anyways, Casey Smith. And, of course, thank you, Isaac Ropp. We're all done. You can wish me a happy Father's Day. We're all done for now. Bye-bye.